So now that we have our data named as a range, we can create a pivot table. So in order to do that, we're going to go out to a separate sheet in our spreadsheet. So I'm going to click on this sheet 2, and up in the insert menu I should have an item that says pivot table, so click on that. And now you see why we named the range select table or range. So this allows us just to type in what we named our range in the previous step, which was data. We have the option of adding this summary table to a new worksheet or the existing worksheet. We'll choose the existing worksheet and click OK. Once that comes up, this is the area where our pivot table is going to be summarized. And over on the right hand side, now you see a list of those column headers that we had in our previous step, which essentially are the answers to the questions that were in our sample survey. So a really interesting way that pivot tables work is that they allow you to summarize information very quickly, either numerical information or text information. And one of the things that we've already learned is how important it is to have the text be similar in all cases, and that way the pivot table can count how many instances there are within the data of that particular piece of text in a column. So we'll show a real example here. So let's say, for instance, I'm looking at the 20 students in my sample data of the school, and I want to count up how many students like different types of ice cream. If I click on favorite ice cream, then you'll see the pivot table quickly changes to show the unique types of ice cream that students have told us that they like within the survey data. And then if I want to get a summary of the number of students within the sample data that like bubblegum ice cream or chocolate ice cream, then I can simply pull the favorite ice cream item from the field list down into this values section of the pivot table. And when I do that, essentially what happens is it goes through that column that shows favorite ice cream and it counts up all the unique examples. So for instance, there are 3 students out of 20 who like bubblegum, 6 out of 20 who like chocolate, so on and so forth. And that's essentially how a pivot table works. Let's try creating another one. So I'll pop out into a new sheet, click on the first cell, click Insert, Pivot Table, type in the name of the range, which was data, click OK. And let's say this time we want to show how many students have a computer at home. So again, we'll select home computer, and essentially what we see now is the unique responses to the question of home computer, and in that case it was a yes or no question, so we simply see an N or a Y. And if we want to get a number of students that have home computers versus those who don't, we pop down the home computer into the values portion of the pivot table analyzer, and that should give us a count. So 2 students out of 20 don't have a computer at home, but 18 have. And those are pivot tables.